Social Zoom Factor, episode 205.
Driving results in business these days takes something special. It's a combination of the right info and the right energy. Pam Moore has both and is here to help you avoid the pitfalls and guide your business and life by leveraging and integrating social media, powerful branding, and digital marketing. Welcome to Social Zoom Factor. Now it's time to live life zoomed.
Are you ready to take your new idea to fruition? One of the first things you need to do is get your business online. Our partner HostGator can take you from zero to turbo fast. Download their Get Online the Easy Way ebook and receive a coupon code for 30% off any new hosting package. Simply visit socialzoomfactor.com/HostGatorEasy or simply text HostGator to 33444. Do you ever feel stuck in a rut, like your online business and social business isn't all that it could be? The Marketing Nuts Agency helps small businesses clear up to the Fortune 50 brands, provide clarity and vision for current and future programs. The Marketing Nuts believe in ROI-driven decision-making while still inspiring audiences with relevant content. From social business strategy and consultation, influencer marketing, to corporate training and workshops, and fully outsourced digital and social programs. The Marketing Nuts helps you prioritize your investment, impact business goals, and inspire your audience to invest in a relationship with you. To start the conversation, visit www.themarketingnuts.com. Hey there, Zoomers, and welcome to Social Zoom Factor. This is your host, Pam Moore. All right, I cannot believe we are on episode 205. Time has just been flying this year, and I know I haven't been as regular and consistent as I was in regard to getting these podcast episodes out. But as all of you know, I was struggling with a bad flu and bronchitis bug, and I'm finally getting better. I can get through a half hour of talking without coughing up a lung. And our agency has just been so extremely busy. We have onboarded 17 new clients in the past few weeks. So as you can understand, that pulls us in the right direction. But I promise that I will be getting much more regular on these podcasts over the coming weeks. So today I'm really excited to share with you a recap of an event that I was at back in March. And I spent almost a week with 10,000 digital marketers at the Adobe Summit. And this was my second year being paid as an Adobe insider to cover the event. So many of you know I attended last year as well. And I did a couple different podcasts because I was so inspired with the content coming out of this event. And I love the Adobe events as I get to hang out with my kind of people. You know, it's my jam. And it's not just geeks or technologists. It's an event that is literally packed with 10,000 marketing technologists and leaders. Okay, geeks that understand not only data, not only coding, not only marketing, but also the importance of inspiring, connecting, engaging, and serving their customer. So they understand the need for this technology and the data, but they understand at the core and the foundation of why we need it. And at the core, if you think about the brand of Adobe, they have from day one been about creating experiences, right? I mean, what marketer doesn't create amazing visual experiences when you think about Adobe that hasn't used Adobe product, right? They're just at the foundation. And then they have just an amazing portfolio of services now that help marketing leaders in measuring and engaging and creating those experiences. So the event just had an amazing lineup of speakers, including the oh so cute George Clooney. There was the funny Thomas Middleditch. He's the star of the HBO show Silicon Valley. Donny Osmond, Abby Wambach. And of course, there were brand leaders from companies such as Mattel and McDonald's, industry leaders such as Brian Solis, who is a good friend of mine and one of my favorites in the industry. So what I thought I would do today is give you a recap. And one of my good buddies, Jay Bear, he also wrote up a recap on the event that I think is really powerful. And I will make sure that I link to that as well as a couple other articles and some other reference materials that Adobe has to help you get your arms around this. And you're going to hear from me today that I think that is a core foundational challenge that we have as marketers is there's this huge gap between what we want to do in regard to customer experience and getting there, right? There's not just this perfect bridge that takes us from where we are today. Every brand has customer experiences that are broken, right? I challenge you to find me one brand that has a perfect end-to-end customer experience scenario. Because even Apple, one of my very favorite companies, I've had challenges with Apple in a couple areas, and be it service, be it product. So even when you think about the pinnacle brands that are out there that focus their life on creating experiences, they still mess up too. So, and that's one of the conversations. I had dinner and quite a few conversations with people like Jay Bear at the Adobe event. And we went out to dinner with another couple fellows. And, that's what we wound up talking about is this gap between what marketing leaders talk about in regard to customer experience and what they're actually doing. Because the challenge is that although we understand what we want to do and where we want to go, kind of, there's this gap between what we can actually do, right? And I love nothing more when I'm at these events than, walking into a networking lunch. If I walk in there by myself, I love sitting at a table of people I don't know and just crashing the table. So I did this at the Adobe event, and it was after I had the dinner the night prior with Jay Bear and team, and we had this deep discussion. So I'm like, I'm going to go crash this table. This looks like a table filled with marketing technologists / geeks. Okay. So I sat down, and it was a large insurance company. And I bounced this thought off of them and just tried to understand if they are in the same place of what we were talking about not being able to cross this bridge. And so I started asking them some questions, and they had a team there that, ranged from the leader of their marketing department. He was right under the CMO to implementation people. So people who were implementing the technology and everything in between. There were about 7 of them at the table. And so I started asking them, what are the biggest challenges that you have in regard to customer experience, in regard to taking your marketing to the next level? And they continued to share with me the fact that, one, they don't understand what they need to do. Although they were at the Adobe Summit, they were having a really hard time putting the pieces together. So it's like a lot of times when we are trying to learn about new technologies, it's hard to go get that architecture together, right? We need this architecture. We need this strategy that tells me how do all the pieces fit together. And there's not a perfect blueprint out there from any company because every single business is different. Right. And we tell our clients the same thing. So I own a digital and social marketing agency. I'm the co-founder with my partner in business and life, Josh Moore, and it's called The Marketing Nuts. And we work with companies from tiny, funded solopreneurs all the way up to enterprise accounts, Fortune 10 brands. And there is not one client we have that is exactly the same as the other. So yes, there are some things we have that I have a blueprint for how we need to go do it. We have blueprints for how we need to go implement campaigns and Facebook ads and do some social media monitoring and, develop escalation processes, crisis preparedness processes, how we do content marketing strategies. But at the end of the day, it's different, right? How I implement content marketing for your business, there are going to be different strategies and tactics and timelines and technology that we are going to choose that's going to be different than my other customers. And so when you think about customer experience, it's even more complex, right? There's no perfect cookie cutter blueprint solution. And so what happens is many people wind up going to these events, and I'm not just saying Adobe, any event, there's tons of tech events out there, and they're going, hoping that they're going to hear from one speaker what they need to do to put this perfect blueprint together. When in reality, they need to step back and they need to think bigger. It's not just about creating, random acts of customer experience. It's not just about the next greatest thing you can do. It's about thinking of a seamless experience. And I'm going to share a few words with you from my buddy, Brian Solis. And this actually comes from a comment on Jay Baer's blog that I mentioned. And I'll make sure to put a link to that in the show notes at socialzoomfactor.com/205. But he says, in response to Jay's article, customer experience is more than giving your customers a better, faster, easier interaction. It's also more than liberal return policies, drive-thrus, open 24-hour establishments, bags fly free deals, dogs welcome, free dessert for kids. He says that's squishy, transactional, trendy stuff. Okay, that like creative marketing, technology fags and gimmicks are superficial attempts at pointing to customer experience, but they're not truly representative of meaningful customer experience. Okay. And he goes on to say, this is where companies make common mistakes in what customer experience is and isn't. Customer experience at its heart is about business transformation, changing perspectives, processes, models, and systems to engage a new generation of customers in what ways that are relevant, intuitive, and experiential. Customer journeys are completely reimagined. Information is redeveloped and restructured for intent, context, and immediacy. Touchpoints are redesigned for the small screen, micro moments, which I love talking about, and outcomes, activity-centered design. Back-end and front-end systems and roles and responsibilities are integrated with teams supported by new processes and reward mechanisms, data, and the list goes on. More so, investing in an infrastructure for new customer experience leads to innovation in product development and services and pushing companies on a path of formal digital transformation. All right. So I love that. And Brian Solis focuses a lot around transformation. And when we think about customer experience, and you think about what I said at the beginning of this episode, in that how many brands are actually struggling with creating those compelling customer experiences, those end-to-end customer experiences, you see we have a long way to go. It truly is about transformation, because when we go back to the example I gave you about the insurance company, their mindset within the company doesn't have even the thought process, the understanding to be able to support the transformation. Okay, the reason they can't go get the budgets that they need to get, and this is every company on the planet right now, is because they don't understand what's needed for the transformation. They're not bought into the transformation at the highest levels. And I think that's where the greatest challenge is in understanding this and knowing that there is a need to do it at every, up to that highest level within the organization. And then the leaders within that company being able to facilitate that change and that transformation. Okay. So how does Adobe define an experience business? Well, Adobe's Brad Rencher defined the characteristics of an experience business at the opening general session of Adobe Summit. And this was held in Las Vegas, by the way. I forgot to mention that. So the characteristics that he mentions, there are 4 of them. Number 1 is know and respect their customers. Okay, so an experience business knows who their customers are and they respect those customers. I talk about this all the time. I think I probably at least mention it in every single podcast I've ever done, right? 2, they speak in one voice in context. So they don't have 10 voices. You don't have 10 personas. You speak in one foundational voice, and you speak in a voice that is contextual to your audience, and it's in context to your brand, right? You're not a chameleon that's something different to everybody, right? And that's a dangerous path for both humans and building personal brands as well as organizations building their brand. You need to speak in one voice. And as you are outsourcing your marketing and some of your social and your content and whatever it may be, you need to make sure you are partnering with those agencies and those consultants to keep that voice consistent. 3 is allowing technology to blend into our lives and not being afraid to figure out the touch points and how you can integrate that and create those delightful and surprising experiences that blend into our life. 4 is that we delight at every turn. And when we are delighting our customers and when we are creating delightful experiences, then it doesn't come across as advertising, right? And I'll talk about that here in a minute. So is experience a new differentiator for brands? What are the benefits of customer experience? How is it going to help your business move forward? We are going to answer those questions and more right after we hear a few words from our sponsor. So please give them a listen, and I will be right back. The new year brings a time for evaluation, reflection, and planning. As an entrepreneur, you know your product, your target market, and how you are going to differentiate from competition to achieve success. One thing that often gets forgotten, though, is the online foundation. Do you have the right digital foundation to build a structurally sound business, or are you building on sand and hoping it will hold? Successful businesses are built on steady ground. You need a blueprint for success, curb appeal, and security. Our partner HostGator can help you do this and more. Download their Business Builder Kit, inclusive of 9 steps for planning your website, 10 mistakes to avoid on your homepage, and 3 easy steps to protect your website from hackers. Simply go to socialzoomfactor.com/HostGatorBiz or text HostGatorBiz to 33444. Again, that is socialzoomfactor.com/HostGatorBiz or text HostGatorBiz to 33444. Do you ever feel stuck in a rut, like your online business and social business isn't all that it could be? The Marketing Nuts Agency helps small businesses clear up to the Fortune 50 brands, provide clarity and vision for current and future programs. The Marketing Nuts believe in ROI-driven decision-making while still inspiring audiences with relevant content. From social business strategy and consultation, influencer marketing, to corporate training and workshops, and fully outsourced digital and social programs. The Marketing Nuts helps you prioritize your investment, impact business goals, and inspire your audience to invest in a relationship with you. To start the conversation, visit www.themarketingnuts.com. I'm back. All right. So is customer experience a new differentiator for brands? Corey Edwards of Adobe believes it is. Corey is another good friend of mine, and he leads the marketing social group over there at Adobe. He and I had numerous discussions on the importance of creating experiences that connect with the heart. We all know that emotional branding, experiences, content, context is what moves people. And I talk about that a lot. We want to be able to create a movement, to create an action, to compel our communities and our audience to take an action, to engage in relationship with you, to engage in a relationship with others, activate them to learn more, to do more, to be more, because together we can do so much more than we can by ourselves. Okay. So people connect and they buy with emotion. Amazing experiences are rooted in emotional connections. So what are the benefits then of focusing on customer experiences? Experiences that surprise and delight and keep you constantly connected with your customer. Benefits are going to include things like creating opportunities to reach a new audience and in new places and connect with them in a more compelling, unique, and emotional human way. Benefits include relationships. You are going to be able to create and foster relationships that are going to last a lifetime, not just today, not just to click through to your website through a click funnel, but a true relationship, right? You build that click funnel in the correct way, it's going to get you closer to the relationship. It's not just about getting the clicks, just about getting the conversions. It's about earning trust and earning loyalty. Brand loyalty is another benefit. Customers always have other options. They don't have to buy from you. So a unique and amazing experience is what is going to keep them loyal to you and your brand. Another benefit is intimacy and knowledge. You're going to be able to better understand your customer as you create these experiences and are looking at every touch point and every data point, and you are going to more intimately know who they are, which is going to help you in fostering those relationships and also reaching new markets, because the more that you know about your desired ideal customer, the better you're going to be able to organically attract them, right? And then we have listening. So letting your customer know that you care. Bottom line, people want convenience and they also want to be heard and seen. We are in the instant gratification era, right? People want what they want. They want it now, if not yesterday. It's also customer experience is also going to help you differentiate from the crowd of status quo, right? It's going to help you rise above the noise by delighting and surprising. Going to help you build something bigger than what you could ever do yourself, because you're going to be bringing people organically closer to your brand. You're investing today for your future tomorrow. And as I always say, you can never go wrong by investing in people and relationships. Doing that is going to help you increase trust. It's going to help you earn trust, establish thought leadership. It's going to help you shorten sales cycles, and of course, increase sales and revenue. So smart marketers can sell more products with a delightful experience at every touch, because think about it. Your products are not selling themselves. Experience is helping you sell your products and your services. If your customer experience is good enough, then your customers are your marketing department. They can be your marketing department, part of that, supporting that. Jay Baer, a tweet that he sent during our Get Real chat, which we hosted live from Adobe Summit. He said, today, advertising is a tax paid when your customer experience isn't good enough to drive organic word of mouth. And also, great customer experience is when you massively exceed customer expectations. It compels word of mouth. I love that. Customer experience relationships. What do we mean by that? Okay, Dell Services also tweeted into our tweet chat, and they said, customer experience is a relationship. It grows stronger over time. Initial perception is critical. So create a relationship via customer experience that leads to sales. Focus on relationships, focus on loyalty, focus on the wow factor versus immediate sales only. Too much focus on immediate sales impacts your brand experience. So hop onto Facebook, hop onto Instagram, and you're going to see this everywhere. Hop onto Twitter, even on LinkedIn. Everybody is looking for that immediate sale. Now, I'm going to go run some spammy ads. I'm going to boost my posts. I'm going to, post 10 times a day trying to get people to my website. Not only is it random acts of marketing, but it's not investing in a relationship with your ideal customer, right? So you need to think bigger than just immediate sales. You need to be thinking longer term. You need to be thinking, what are the ways that I am going to organically attract my customer by surprising and delighting them? And then once I have them as a customer, once I have their eyeballs and their ears listening and watching me, how am I going to move that relationship forward even more? So the foundations for success are going to be you taking time to understand your own brand and understand your own internal ecosystem. So what does your internal ecosystem look like? What is the mindset of the leaders within your company who you need to have on board and supporting and funding this customer experience transformation that you need to have? You need to focus there first, because if you don't have the support that you need, you're never going to get not only the emotional and the professional support, you're not going to get the budget to implement what you need to implement. And you're going to be some of these people that are going from event to event trying to figure out the technology. And by the time you get the budget and you get the approval and you get the mindset, the technology is going to change and your proposal is going to be dead in the water. So you need to focus first on putting that architecture plan in place, but at the same time, making sure that you're understanding your internal ecosystem so that you can get that support that you desperately need to be successful. So you need to understand the technology. You need to understand the services available for you. You need to understand how you want to piece this thing together. Are you going to outsource it? Are you going to get at least some help from an outside company like Adobe? Are you going to bring in consultants to help you? What do you need to do just in regard to your foundational marketing? It could be customer support, customer service. The list goes on and on. So you got to think about what are the areas within your business that you are wanting to transform. Where are you going to start? What are the outcomes you were looking for? What are the key performance indicators that are going to help you measure success toward that transformation? You're not going to boil this ocean overnight. You're not going to go to some event and within the next quarter be a customer experience architect where you're going to have the plan and you are going to be ready to implement it and you're going to have it implemented in the next 6 months. This is a journey. It's not a destination. So as you think about customer experience, I hope that today, if nothing else, I have inspired you to think bigger than what you're thinking before you started listening to this podcast, that you are going to dig and do the double click and look at some of the resources that I'm going to give to you. I want you to also look at companies who are doing some things right? I want you to dig deep into virtual reality and understand some of the things that we can do with customer experience and technology. Look at the Internet of Things. Okay, if you were in a product business where you are selling things and, there was a virtual reality booth that we had in e-commerce. There was the Adobe Smart Bag demo center that we had at the Adobe Summit. And it was amazing technology where you have this smart bag that you shop with and it's integrated with the sales associate. They know what products they were showing clothes. They know what clothes you're putting in your bag and you're able to keep a record of those and know what size you have. And the sales associate's better able to help you. And it was just such an amazing example of utilizing these technologies to create a better experience, right? I shop all the time. I go to the malls and how much I would love to have the Adobe Smart Bag every store I went into that could remember my sizes so I don't have to go back and look, could recommend other clothes to me on my mobile device right there in the fitting room, telling me what I need. Being able to, flip a button on my mobile device and then have the sales associate bring me something. So those are ways that smart companies today are going to be able to start redefining and transforming their customer experiences. You can look at, what's happening with connected cars, what's happening in healthcare, what's happening with brands like Apple and Delta. There's many of us who have had some amazing experiences on Delta Airlines the last couple years with Zappos and Disney. I think the king architect of experience, Uber and Lyft and Curb and, Airbnb, the list goes on. So I encourage you to get out there and look at who are the leaders that are transforming customer experience and how can you think about it in a different way within your company. So there you have it, my recap in a nutshell of Adobe Summit 2016. I hope that it inspired, surprised, and delighted you. So please come join our Get Real chat. We have moved the chat. It's now at 2 p.m. effective May 3rd is the first date we're moving it to a daytime chat. It'll be at 2 p.m. every single Tuesday instead of 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we moved that so that more people will be able to to participate during the day. So I look forward to seeing and tweeting you there. And we're also going to be adding some different experiences. We're going to be integrating live video and Google Hangouts and that type of thing. So every week will be different. We're going to have live webinars and we're going to have guests. And I will be bringing a couple people from Adobe onto the platform to interview them. So I encourage you to, make sure you're following us on Twitter. Go subscribe to our newsletter on Social Zoom Factor if you want to make sure you stay updated as well. Lots of ways to connect with us. So I wish you the best of success as you are looking to create the best customer experiences that you possibly can. That's a wrap.
If you're ready to Zoom your business and Zoom your life, then don't let the end of this episode be the end of your journey. Visit socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom for incredible free resources and guides. And be sure to join the Social Zoom Factor mailing list so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time on Social Zoom Factor.